the proper way. I mean, there's no such thing as a proper way, but I do think that first you have to put yourself out there and become accessible. What a lot of journalists, mainstream journalists, don't know how to do is to make themselves accessible. They tend to become a little bit like rock stars, a little bit like celebrities, and so they're a little removed from their audiences. But you have to engage, you have to interact, and when you do, you will find that people are dying to talk to you. So you can use that to your advantage by working around, for instance, hard censor policies or a conservative editorial policy. But also you have to be a little bit sensible, I suppose, and do some kind of self-censorship, although I don't really advise that.
Well, it's my belief that by turning to the crowd, we can more accurately cover climate change. I believe that when you get the perspective of people that are living the urgency of climate change, you get a more accurate and more authentic vision of truly what's happening. And for an example of us using crowdsource media as it relates to climate change, we're setting up a Gulf Coast news desk to reach out to citizens to get their perspective, to have them share their solutions of how we clean up the Gulf.
Well, I think in several ways. The most obvious way is that it can spread news about climate change far more broadly than it otherwise would reach. It was just in the traditional media. So by using online tools, Web 2.0, social media platforms, they can reach new audiences, more diverse audiences that might not otherwise get news about climate change. But the other way that often doesn't receive as much attention is that the journalists themselves, the people who are producing news and information, can use network journalism to access more and different kinds of information, because climate change is such a huge topic, and it's everything from agriculture to forests to oceans to business to energy to economics, and it's really a lot for any one person to grasp. But by using networks such as networks that we've helped create at the Earth Journalism Network, journalists can get access to their peers in different parts of the world. They can get access to experts who, in their own part of the world, who they may not be familiar with, and try and get a sense, a good feeling for the information that they can then broadcast themselves.
I think it's the same tools that you'll have on not online media, traditional media, and it's basically a way of thinking your role as a journalist. And I think pretty much it's the same role you have in traditional media and you have in online media. And it's basically not only to focus on crooks and victims and drama and conflicts, which are the templates of normal news journalism in the traditional news media. I think we should try to add another news criteria, which we call constructive news. Try to look at stories that can inspire and look for solutions to the problems we also, of course, have to cover.
How you filter information as a network journalist? I would go to relevant networks, see what they're writing about, see what gets posted, see what gets commented about a lot, see which threads are being retweeted, reused, and that is an indication of how valuable that single contribution might be. So you look at how the network treats the single source of information, how it is being treated within the network to give it some relevance. And that's one pointer there. Obviously, being a journalist, you can also still make up your own mind on quality.